Did you know that generators only make up about 37% of the population, and you are one of them, and maybe somebody you know and love as well? My name is Brenna. Welcome to my channel where we talk about all the nitty gritty details of human design, astrology, and psychic gifts, metaphysics to be able to teach you how to use this information in a practical way. Human design specifically is actually a system that's made up of a bunch of other different systems, which is why I love it. Astrology, the I Ching, Kabbalah, all of those good, juicy things that are put together to be able to show you how energy moves through you most effectively and how you are meant to show up as yourself and nobody else in the specific filing system that is your human design body graph in this world. Human design, for those of you who don't know, was created by a man named Ra Uru in the late 1980s. It's technically a channeled work, but he basically took all the studies of his systems and put it into one system to make it a bite-sized, more palatable piece, although complex. So I'm going to break it down so it's really simple. Let's get into what it means to have a generator or a type or energy type in human design. So, when you are a generator that has an open and enveloping aura, you are somebody that is known as a magnetic person who is drawing people in to you, opportunities, invitations, people, places, and things that you know that you want to connect with or manifest easier into your life. When we're working with our energy type or our aura type in human design, that's what makes it easier for us to connect with like minded people or things that we want to draw to us to be able to manifest. You're really known as the builders of the world. So you have a lot of energy to just keep moving forward and keep producing and keep being dedicated to the things that you want to be dedicated for. And you're really happy when you're doing the work that you love. Your work specifically is so tied to your happiness, your energetic threshold. So when we have generators that are pretty depleted, we know there's some things we have to look out for. I'm going to mention that a little bit later in this video about the common things that you kind of get mucked up on as a generator that pull you out of your aura, but you want to make sure that you're doing things that really excite you. Now, when we're looking at being a generator here, a couple notes I didn't want to forget to mention to you guys. The way that we focus on how you can be most aligned as a generator is through something called your strategy. So when you're first starting your human design experiment, not only are you going to want to know your energy type, but your strategy. For every generator and manifesting generator, that's another part of the generator population. Together, you and manifesting generators make up 70% of the population. You have the strategy of to respond. So basically when we're, having a response strategy, or it's known as waiting to respond, a common misconception in your energy is that you have to wait for things to happen and you're just kind of sitting there like, okay, like I'm waiting for my $1,000,000 to show up, I'm waiting for my ideal career to show up, when it's really about doing things every day that keep you busy. I always say, and I wrote this too, that like when you are putting your feet on the floor in the morning, you're saying, okay, do I want ice cream or do I want a smoothie for breakfast? Do I want coffee? Do I want tea? A or B, black or no, yes or no, black and white questions are ones that are really going to help you to decide what do you want to respond to and what's the thing that feels the most efficient, the best thing for you, the thing that gets you a little bit more excited to get on with your day. That's what you want to be paying attention to as a generator. So with a response strategy, is an important distinction to make between initiating things and responding to things. The important way that I can explain this, and the most important way that I can explain this to you that's going to highlight the importance of it, is by noticing how to be in an expectant or active waiting for the things that you want to manifest. So let's say that you want to manifest a big new career change. What is it that you can do while you're waiting for that career change to happen that's a practical physical action that you can take? Maybe you clean out your closet and put all of your like summer clothes downstairs. Say it's like the winter season that you're interviewing, to get your fall interview outfits ready to go. What are the things that you're going to be wearing day to day in that office space, or if you're on Zoom or something like that, that you can have ready to go in your closet? It's about making things or responding and making things available in your energetic frequency to say, hey, universe, I'm available for this. Look what I'm doing to make sure that I'm dotting my I's and crossing my T's and getting ready to be able to respond and say yes when the invitation does come my way. What's really important about this is that this is the exact crucial step that helps you to work through analysis paralysis, I should say, to get things moving. The biggest thing that I see generators and manifesting generators struggle with, including myself in the past, is getting stuck in analysis paralysis and not knowing where to start. This is where it's so important to understand that those micro habits, editing your resume, fixing your clothes, doing things along those lines, going out and networking with people who are in the same industry are things that are going to get you further, because it's showing the universe that you're willing to be open and available for that income to happen, for that new job offer to happen, etc. That's super, super important for your energy. Now, the next thing that you really want to focus on as a generator, or when you're going through your human design experiment, is what's known as your authority. So your authority is either going to be a sacral or an emotional authority. All generators are going to have access to your sacral chakra or your motor center. That's always going to be defined if you're a generator. So the core essence of understanding that is paying attention to your gut instinct. 70% of us have our gut instinct defined in human design. That's why that vocabulary, trust your gut, follow your gut, go with your gut, is so woven into normal sentences, phrases that we say, quotes that we say in society, because it really is about trusting your gut and moving forward in the most somatically comfortable way possible, to really trust the somatics of our body, as I mentioned earlier, not to overrule your gut instinct with your logical mind. That is going to help you set clear personal boundaries about what you are willing to go after. And there's a specific line that I wrote here that's from the definitive book of human design. That's linked in the show notes if you want to purchase that to do a little bit of more self research, if you like to read like I do. And that's generators, however, or generators are focused on knowing themselves and understanding their own process. Generators find their life through their work. That's why career is so important for you guys. Through the right work that resonates. And then when they respond correctly, using their daily supply of energy appropriately to apply their energy to the things that matter, this is when they're doing the right work and have the longevity and quality of life to do so again and again. So really paying attention to that is also what's going to help you to understand how to prevent burnout and not feel frustrated, which is a very important vocabulary word I will talk about in the moment. I also wrote, again, just to remind you to trust your body over your mind. That's going to take time. It's okay as a generator if you don't do that initially, right? It's figuring out what is the separation between our logical mind and our physical body, and that our physical body is the thing that helps us to execute via the logical mind is important. So let me give you an example. Let's say that you go into a job interview and you feel uncomfortable, even though it is the ideal accounting job that you want, your body feels uncomfortable in the sense that like the environment feels a little off. Maybe it's all glass windows and you're going to have to be in office 5 days a week, but you really wanted to do something that was remote instead because that works better for your schedule and that's just what you want. That's what's going to make you happy. Paying attention to the fact that your body feels physically uncomfortable in that space is so important. That's going to be different from anxiety. If you have any questions about that and distinguishing between anxiety and intuition, you can let me know. We can talk more about that. I can make a separate video. But all that to say, it's noticing that your body's saying, hey, logically this looks good, but maybe this is the first offer, the first indication of something that I'm headed in the right direction, but maybe I don't have to like say yes to the first thing that I'm responding to if my body's telling me this feels off, right? Then maybe when you start to go into the interview and talk about salary, it's 30,000 less a year than you're able to make to pay your bills. And it's a good, better, best system, especially in this economy. If you are really desperate and you do need the money right away, you can accept it and then figure out what are you still going to be doing to be able to manifest the new thing. Just know, however, when you're doing that, it can be harder for you to pivot. So that's an opportunity where you're choosing your hard. Are you choosing the hard of saying no? Not right now, or something better, I need something better? Or am I accepting this right now, knowing my next hard is going to be to continue to have to apply as I'm getting set up with this new job, right? It's like knowing the rules so you can break them in a way that feels appropriate for you as a generator in human design is going to be so incredibly crucial to your happiness and your well-being. If that gets confusing at all, if you feel like you're having a hard time understanding how to workshop that for you, just let me know and I'll give you something to respond to that'll be more helpful in the comments below. Now, because of that, the next little section I wanted to touch on is what's called your signature and not self theme in human design. This is so important because these are the two vocabulary words that, above anything else, are going to help you get on track for your own personal litmus test of success. Your signature is known as satisfaction. Your not self theme is known as frustration. You always want to be asking yourself the question, what's going to make me feel satisfied? Or have somebody else pose you the question, what is going to make me feel satisfied out of this job, out of this relationship, anything that you're feeling a lack of satisfaction or frustration in. Frustration, as a generator, you're going to experience that emotion every single day. We don't get rid of it. It's the personal litmus test. I have people that will ask me, like, how do I get rid of frustration? I've been doing this for 10 years. I still feel frustrated at some point every single day. And I say, okay, my body's feeling frustrated. This means that I'm out of alignment with what I'm doing. What's going to help me pivot in a direction that actually feels better for what I need to do to make myself feel satisfied? And then you break it down, where do I need to film right now, or do I need to eat something? Do I want to make a cup of coffee? Is that going to help me? Or do I just need to take a nap? What is the A or B black and white options until you refine what your body is actually craving and seeking? Asking yourself that, writing down journal prompts, manifestations, new moon, full moon circles, things along those lines, with always saying, what's going to make me feel satisfied? What's going to make me feel frustrated? That's really important. What that also helps you to do, right, is to feel more fulfilled, feel more energized. You can go to sleep, lay your head down at night and go to sleep knowing that you feel like you've exercised as much as possible. A little offshoot I'll say there is that, as a generator, you want to get into bed about like an hour before you actually want to fall asleep, because you aren't fully going to be done processing until you kind of have that hour of that transition period to be able to sleep. Sometimes it doesn't even take that long, but knowing that. And then the extra note I wanted to make, putting us back into the frustration track, is that, like, look when you're feeling frustrated, like, where are you pushing yourself, forcing yourself, or saying yes when you really mean no? Generators have such a hard time, especially now in the way that we've been conditioned, or influenced by the world or people who don't necessarily have our best interests in mind, to say yes to the things we should be saying no to. Really look out for where you're shoulding in your life. What are the things you feel obligated to do that you should do? Because that is a sign that you're moving in not a great direction, and you want to push into, what's going to make you feel satisfied. Are you saying yes to you? Are you saying yes to the things that are going to get you in the right track, in the right direction? And noticing that sometimes it takes a little time to pivot the more you've enmeshed yourself in people, places, and things, or with people, places, and things that you should have said no to a long time ago. Hiccup of affirmation, super important. With that being said, right, a couple of the common generator struggles is you guys feeling stuck when nothing's showing up that you can respond to, people pleasing and overcommitting, trying to initiate instead of trusting your gut instinct and what you can control in your own home, in your own personal environment, and the should versus want, as I mentioned. So, one of the biggest things, right, that I notice, and that's really important, is that not trusting the process or feeling stuck where nothing's showing up. I just did a productivity hour yesterday. You can look back into the archives. It won't be yesterday every time somebody's watching this video, but it's a productivity hour from October 21st. That was a new moon in Libra. And I had somebody that was a generator that was like, why do I feel frustrated when like nothing's showing up for me? And usually that's a sign of complacency or not knowing what the proper action is to take. Initiating incorrectly means that you would go and initiate and start banging down doors and asking people, can I do this here, can I do that here? Maybe you see a local metaphysical store and you want to do tarot readings, and there's nothing on their website that says that they've done events before, and you reach out to them to do a pop-up. You drain yourself because maybe you realize that you haven't been into that store before and there actually isn't space for them to do events. The proper way to initiate, if you're a tarot card reader that wants to follow that idea as a generator, is noticing, where is there, a place that posts that they do of live events, that they host tarot card readers or psychics or human design readers or astrology readings in person. And then you would apply through the proper forums through their website, right? You're doing your due diligence to follow the rules or the structure that's in order, because you're responding. If somebody has put out the call, so to speak, for people to apply, then you know that that's a proper response when you see that along your path and you're doing things that are productive, rather than from a place of anxiety and feeling like you're falling forward through your day, knowing that that's just an important distinction in your process, in your human design experiment. Your gifts and purpose as a generator, just as a beautiful recap to this video, is to understand that you are the true builders of the world. You're meant to build things and really live a full life that feels like you have no stone left unturned. In this lifetime, you've tinkered and explored with everything that has been your personal interest. You never see things through until the fully societally acceptable ending of them, but rather for what feels good for you as a generator. You're done with something, you've learned the skill set, you moved on to something new. When you are keeping that excitement, you always feel like you're exploring in life. That is such energetic, magnetic vitality, energy that really is drawing people into you, because they want to know, how are you so happy? How do you keep your sparkle? How do you keep your magnetism? And people naturally want to be like you. They want to connect with you. They want to love you. They want to support you financially, emotionally, whatever that looks like. Just paying attention to that is so incredibly important as a generator. Again, you're here to trust your gut instinct. Don't overrule your gut instinct with your logical mind. Figure out what you want to build and know that it's okay to pivot. Just know that the pivot can be a little bit of a challenge, but ultimately you're looking for satisfaction at the end of the day. If you or anyone you know is this energy type as a generator or another energy type, let me know in the comments below. Anywhere you feel like you've struggled, have any issues. And if you like to learn in a group setting, I do have a non-contract pay per month, as many months as you want to stay, $22 a month Patreon, where you can connect with other like-minded generators if that feels good for you and you want to join the group of us that's in there. We meet about 3-4 times a month. I teach you everything that you need to know to be a successful generator in your personal and professional life, how to get paid doing it, and to find a life that you truly love. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for being here, and happy generating.